Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Welcome. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. I'm looking at the comments just to see. I've been for the past 10 minutes just looking at comments and seeing where everybody is from. And it's literally people from all over the world. Hello. Yay, we're live. It's so good to see everybody. Oh, I love seeing you guys. I look forward to these lives so much. Can everybody hear me and see me well? Seems like everybody can hear me and see me well. It's good to see everybody. It's good to see. I'm sending you so much love, literally from all over the world. I've been reading place after place after place. It's so good to have you guys here. Welcome to this YouTube live. We've got a packed agenda today, a packed agenda. I've got multiple computers going on here. I've got some props. I even have some markers if I want to write down things. There are so many notes. I took so many notes for this live. So if you are not ready, if you've never done a YouTube live with me before, go grab a notebook and a pen and just get yourself ready because there's a lot of information coming through for this live. And I want to make sure that we capture everything today so that you leave this live ready to take on the energies of 2026 because they're a little challenging because they're very big energies. And that's why I have so much to talk about today. So, welcome from wherever you are. I love you guys so much. And especially an amazing welcome always. I have to say this every single live. Welcome to people who are literally in the middle of the night watching this live with us. People in Australia, people in time zones that are so far ahead of mine. Thank you. I've seen quite a few Australia people here. Thank you so much. I love you guys and I appreciate you so much for actually being up in the middle of the night to do this live with us. I love you. I love you. Thank you. Okay, so here is the agenda for today. Again, packed agenda. I have a lot of notes, so I'm going to be looking at my notes a lot throughout this live. All right. So we're going to be talking about the one energy theme for 2026, the top. There are a couple that you've probably been hearing about already, but there's one energy theme that you probably haven't heard about. And it was given to me through my guides. My guides give me metaphors a lot to help me kind of break down the energies of a specific time frame. And so we're going to be talking about that one energy theme that my guides gave us for 2026. Then we're going to talk about the one habit you must release in 2026. There are a couple of extra ones that I'm going to talk about in this live, but there's one. There is one habit that you must release in 2026 so you do not feel burnt out and completely collapse because the energies of 2026 are very powerful. And guess what, guys? I don't know if anybody's noticed. Let me know in the comments. I'm looking at the comment stream through, but let me know in the comments. Have you noticed that the energy is shifting? Have you started to feel this already? Because I've been working with this metaphor that I'm going to share with you in this live coaching call. I've been working with this metaphor since the beginning of December inside of my private community, Heart Alchemy. In our coaching calls, we've been talking about this theme. I usually receive these metaphors far in advance so that we can start to work with the energy with my clients before the energy actually takes hold. But are you feeling it? Are you feeling already this enormous shift in energy and the idea that we can no longer live life like we used to? Even just last year or 2 years ago or 3 years ago, you can't do it. You can't do it the same way. We have to let go of so many things in order to be able to navigate the increasingly accelerated, beautiful, powerful, but at times challenging energies. All right. So let me know. I'm getting a lot of yeses. So, all of you guys that are here, we're all light workers. We're all in the same soul family. So you've been feeling the same things that I've been feeling. Like life, the way that we used to do things down here on planet Earth, it's not working anymore. And we have to almost reinvent ourselves constantly, right? Does anybody feel that? Like you're constantly reinventing yourself? This is another choice point, again, to be able to do that reinvention. So I'm going to be talking about one habit you got to let go of. It's non-negotiable for 2026 and beyond. Then I'm going to get into 3 skills that you need to master this year. If you master these 3 skills, 2026 is going to be an incredible year because there's so much potential in this energy. All right. So I'm going to share with you those 3 skills. Then I'm going to introduce and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about a New Year's challenge that I'm doing inside of my private community, Heart Alchemy. I've never done this before. It's the first time we're doing a challenge inside of our community. And I'm going to be talking about that for a few minutes with you. I'm really excited about launching that with you guys today. And then we're going to end our lives, as we always end our lives, with a live activation. This one is going to be called 0 Point. And I'm really excited. I'm going to go over what the 0 Point activation is. And we're going to finish the live with that 0 Point activation. All right. How does this sound? Woo-hoo-hoo. Okay. So let's get into talking about first the theme, the energy theme for 2026. So you have probably already learned about the theme of the numerology being the number 1. Okay. So who's heard about the numerology, a little bit about the numerology of this year, right? 2026 is a 1 year. So we're talking about a theme in numerology. The number 1 is the number of new beginnings. It's the number of you being able to chart your own path, stand on your own 2 feet, and walk your path with sovereignty, with power. Okay. That's what the number 1, that's, in essence, what the number 1 means. The number 1 is also a vibration of masculine energy. And this number 1 energy for 2026 is going to be teaching you how to reset your masculine energy. The masculine energy is masculine energy in all of us. Remember, masculine energy is not gendered, okay? If you've heard me talk about these energies, you know, I hate it when people say masculine means men and feminine means women. That's not true at all. We all have internal masculine and feminine energies. And the masculine energy of the number 1 is going to be cleansed a lot in 2026. So we're talking about embodying a masculine that is honorable, a masculine that is nonviolent, a masculine that is non-aggressive, a masculine that is completely different from the masculine energy we've had on the planet up until now. So that's a little bit of the vibration of the number 1. Then, have you guys heard that 2026, we're transitioning from the year of the snake? 2025 was the year of the snake. And 2026 is the year of the horse. Have you heard about that a little bit? So that's the animal medicine for 2026 is the horse. And it's really interesting because if you tap into the horse, if you know anything about horses, I grew up on a farm. I had horses since I was a child. And there are some amazing facts about a horse, but I'll leave you with one that will kind of point you in the direction of what the 2026 energies are. Horses are animals that they can't stay still for very long because they could get sick. So you can't leave a horse in a barn for very long without it being able to move because the horse relies on its hooves moving around in order to circulate blood through its body. So the horse is an animal that was built to move. Almost constant movement. Yeah, they lie down, they sleep a little bit, but horses move a lot. And so the year of the horse, ding, ding, it's giving you an indication, a lot of forward movement, forward movement, forward movement. And that's different from the year of the snake that we're coming from, where it was all about ending, shedding our old skin, being reborn. And now the year of the horse is like, all right, guys, let's do this. Let's get going. Okay. So that's a little bit probably of some numerology and some symbology that you have already read or heard about pertaining to the year 2026. But now I want to get into the energy theme that my guides gave me, the metaphor that my guides gave me. And when I give you this metaphor, I'm going to ask you to connect with the metaphor because it's a metaphor from nature. And I want you to connect with it viscerally. I'm even going to show you a video of the metaphor so you guys can see. But this metaphor is, here it is. Okay. All right. Can everybody see this? Okay. The theme, the 2026 theme is da 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 da. It's called the biggest wave. Cool. It's called the biggest wave. Can everybody hear me? I was seeing people were saying that they needed a sound check. Is everybody okay? Can you hear me? What's going on with the microphone? Is the microphone not working well? Bernardo, is it all right? Can we maybe, they're saying that the audio is going in and out. Hopefully. Are you guys hearing me better now? Okay, cool. All right, so I'm gonna keep going, and my producer there is gonna check if there's any sound issues going on. Okay, so the biggest wave, what does that theme mean? Okay, what does the theme mean? So when you think about waves, I'm in Portugal right now. I live in Portugal, and there's a little village above Portugal above Lisbon called Nazaré. And this is home of the largest waves in the world. All right. The largest waves in the world are in a village called Nazaré, and the waves can reach about 100 feet in height, and they can move. I'm going to look up some numbers so you can see. 100 feet is about 30 meters. And for comparison, that's about the size of a 10-story building. All right. Imagine a wave the size of a 10-story building. All right. So the water moves at 110 kilometers per hour, up to 110 kilometers per hour. That's 70 miles per hour. Now, it's hard to imagine what that wave can look like, what an actual 10-story wave looks like. So I have a little video here. Bernardo, you can play it whenever you're ready. I want you guys to, when Bernardo plays this, my producer's going to play this video. When this video goes on, just pay attention to the water, the size of the water and the power of the water. So cool. Okay, so I wanted to play that video so you guys could see viscerally what a 100-foot wave. I don't think this was 100 feet. I think this was 86 feet. It was the world record at Nazaré. It's still the Guinness Book of World Records largest wave. It was a few years ago. I think the world record has just been broken this year in Nazaré, but I brought this video up because it's not official yet. So this is the tallest wave ever recorded surfing, 86 feet. And I wanted you to see the size of that wave, okay? Now, when you're looking at a wave like that, I'm going to break down the energy of this wave. And as I'm breaking down the energy of this wave, you can start to tap into it because this is the energy of 2026, okay? So there are 3 defining features of a big wave like that. It's incredible power and velocity. That wave is moving again around 70 miles per hour. That's 110 kilometers. It is insane, the speed, the power. So when water moves like that, when water goes up into that type of wall, it no longer behaves like water. It behaves like a mass. It's like this enormous mass that's forming. Okay. So it's incredibly powerful, incredibly fast. It's unyielding. That's the second thing. It is unyielding. So there's no negotiating with this wave, right? When the surfer gets on that wave and they start to surf, they're not negotiating with the wave. There's absolutely nothing they can do when they get on that wave. They're not negotiating with the wave. They're not saying, oh, I want to go this way instead of that way. Nope, they're just going to go wherever the heck the wave takes them. It's unyielding. It's too much power. You can't fight against it. The third thing, and this is super important, and if you have a notebook, write this down. The energy of this wave is amplifying, okay? So when you have a wave this size, it's going to amplify anything that's going on, all right? So for us internally, if you are riding the wave of 2026 and you have a lot of negative thoughts, you have disempowering beliefs, you talk very negatively to yourself, you behave and have patterns that are wounded, guess what's going to happen? The energy is going to amplify that state for you. And so you're going to continuously feel more and more and more miserable, right? If your internal state is positive, if you are empowered, if you speak kindly to yourself, if you have a lot of self-compassion, if you have trust in the universe, the wave energy is going to amplify that state, okay? So it's whatever state you are in, the wave is going to amplify it, okay? So for a surfer, for example, when they enter a big wave, they're not nervous, they're not panicked, they're not thinking. No, they enter, they're very calm, and that means that they ride the wave better. If their presence, they're in flow, they're one with the wave. If they become rigid in their body, if they try to wrestle the wave, they're going to wipe out, literally wipe out. And just to give you some perspective, when a surfer wipes out in a nazare wave, it's actually quite dangerous. Big wave surfers are trained to hold their breath for at least 3 minutes underwater, because when one of those waves falls on top of you, you will be underwater for multiple minutes without being able to take a breath, okay? So these are some of the energy characteristics of a big wave. Now, how does a big wave surfer survive a 100-foot wave? Let me know in the comments. I want to see. I'm gonna tell you the characteristics, but I want to see what you guys say. Let me know in the comments. How does a surfer survive a 100-foot wave? How? Write it down in the comments as I'm reading to you. So there are four characteristics that I wrote here that are important. 1, the surfer is at one with the wave, okay? At one with the wave. There's no, oh, I'm going to think about breakfast tomorrow. I'm going to think about this problem, or I'm going to be over there. Nope. Once that surfer gets on the wave, they become one. They enmesh with the wave, okay? They enmesh with it. 2, they let the water carry them. All right. So what they do, what a big wave surfer, and if there's any surfers here or experienced surfers, let me know how you do this. If you've been on a big wave before, that would even be better. They let the water carry them. So a big wave surfer positions themselves. They make small little adjustments, but they position themselves, and then they let the water carry them, because it's an entire huge flow of water that just goes. And so they position their bodies, and then they let the water take them. It feels very effortless almost. 3, they're in a flow state. In a flow state, there's no mind, there are no thoughts, nothing like that. They are in a flow state, and that makes it really important. When we talk about flow, a lot of times people think that it's just for artists or athletes. Professional athletes talk a lot about being in the flow and what that means. But for spiritual people like ourselves, being in the flow is going to be super, super, super important coming into 2026. Okay. So when you're in the flow, you're not thinking, you're not rationalizing. There's no thought, actually. Being in the flow is a very embodied experience, okay? You're completely in the body. You're moving almost with spirit, right? You're at one with nature. You're at one with everything. And you're in what's known as BQ, or body intelligence. You're completely out of your mind, and you're in the intelligence of the body, okay? And so that flow state is what allows the surfers to make micro adjustments when they're riding the wave. They can make micro adjustments. Their body is sensing the water and where they should move their bodies. So that's being in the flow is extremely, extremely important. And then the 4th one, and super important, and this is something that I found in 2025 people were really struggling with, and I'd like to hear here in the comments if that was true for you too. But the 4th characteristic for surfers to ride big waves is staying calm and flexible in the body, okay? Surfers, big wave surfers, the ones that successfully surf a wave that's 100 feet high, they are remarkably calm as they do it. Remarkably calm. Because if they get stressed, if they get anxious, if their body goes in fight or flight, they will freeze. And if they freeze, they wipe out. They literally wipe out. So they're calm, they're breathing, their body is flexible, and they are very calm and flexible, even though they're literally surfing down a 10-story building, going like 70 miles an hour, okay? So That's one really, really important characteristic. Okay. So this is the energy of 2026. This big wave is the energy of 2026. And I know that this sounds a little bit woo-woo for a lot of people. I know that it sounds woo-woo, so I'm going to take it down a little bit. I'm going to take it down to earth, okay? So what does this mean in real life? What does it mean in the real world, all right? So the power and velocity, what does that mean? That means that things are going to move faster in your life with a lot more power. So I'll give you an example of this because I work with a lot of clients inside of Heart Alchemy, and we talk a lot about this in our live coaching calls. And people will say to me, you know, when I used to have a spiritual awakening maybe 10 years ago, I felt like one thing would happen to me at a time, you know, like this would happen, then that would happen, then that would happen. And now people are reaching me and they're joining Heart Alchemy and they're saying that everything is happening at the same time. Let me know if this is true for you. So people will say, my relationship is falling apart. My job is like, I just lost my job. I don't want to live where I live anymore. I want to move out of my neighborhood. I want to move countries. All of these different things are happening to people at the same time. There's an enormous velocity of events that are occurring on the planet with a lot of power, okay? Unyielding. Unyielding means that there's a sort of a loss of free will. And let me know if this, because I hear a lot about this from my clients. A lot of times people think that they have what's known as free will. And when they're talking about free will, they're talking about the free will of the human mind, right? But when you start on the spiritual path and you start doing your healing and your transformation, you realize that the human free will starts to disappear, right? And so how does it happen? The soul goes online and the soul says, okay, enough with your shenanigans. I've seen you do this and that and the other. I've seen you get in toxic relationships. I've seen you do this. I've seen you go do that. I've seen you, get addicted to these things and go do all these shenanigans. And I've sat back for a while and I've just let you do it, but I'm not doing that anymore. I'm now exerting power. I'm exerting my will, says your soul. Okay. Has this happened does anybody, is everybody feeling that? Your soul is no longer willing to allow the human free will to override it. Now, this is great. Some people say they don't like it, but I really love it because it means that now the soul isn't letting you waste time, binge watching Netflix for the rest of your life, just, on the couch, or in a relationship that doesn't serve you, or in a job that doesn't serve you. The soul's not letting you do this anymore. So it's almost like you lost free will or you're losing free will, but it isn't really that you're losing free will. It's that the free will of the ego is no longer strong enough to keep away the free will of the soul. The free will of your soul is coming in, it's exerting its power, and it's saying, hey, it's my turn now, my will prevail. And so a lot of people experience this as a loss of free will. And how does this show up in your life? This has shown up in my life also, and in a lot of my clients. They'll say to me that things just explode in their life against their will. So they're in, for example, I'll use an example of a relationship. They're in a relationship that is really unfulfilling. It doesn't serve them. But because the person is having a hard time breaking up with their partner, something happens and their partner breaks up with them. And they're just like, bye. And then the person's like, what? What just happened? How is this possible? Why did that person break up with me? And it was really the soul saying, I'm clearing this up because your free will is not doing it. Okay. And so this unyielding energy of a big wave, it shows itself in your life just like this. The free will of your ego will have less and less power in your life, and the free will of your soul will come in. Okay. And I don't know if this is happening, but let me know in the comments if this is already happening to you. Okay. So this ability for you to say, here's this 10-story, huge wave, and it's unyielding in its power. I don't have the vital energy in my little body to be able to fight that wave. It's unyielding. So I'm going to learn to go with it. I'm going to learn to surrender to it. All right. Then to the amplification. All right. So what does amplification of energy mean in everyday life? Okay. It means that whatever state you are in, it'll be amplified. And give me a show of hands if you're already seeing this happen in your life. And I'll give you an example, a recent example from my life to show you just how the amplification is working. So a couple of months ago, I started getting really stressed. You know, I had some big financial commitments in 2025, and I would wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, really worried, thinking, oh my God, you know, I have these financial commitments. Will I be able to withhold these financial commitments? Is everything going to be okay for me financially? And I remember waking up, and it wasn't a regular worry. It was, I'd get worried. My mind would start going, worrying. And then my entire body, pretty soon, my entire body was totally dysregulated, but dysregulated at a level so outside of the proportion of what the situation was about. It was like I'd have these little thoughts, these worrisome thoughts, and they would just travel through my body, activate my nervous system, but activate my nervous system to a degree, to an amplified degree that felt so painful. And I started catching myself, and I was like, oh my God, it's the wave energy. The wave energy is here. Okay. And I would just take a nice deep breath, and I'd shift my energy right away. And I remember in the middle of the night, I just say mantras, and I would say things like, everything is going to be okay. I am provided for. All is well. And then pretty soon I'd go right back to regulated just as quickly as I came out of it. Okay. Has this been happening to people? So this is the amplification of the energy. And as 2026 progresses, that amplification is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger because of that big wave energy. All right. So this is a warning, but also just a wake-up call for everyone. Pay attention to your internal state. If you're someone that is very self-critical and that's constantly thinking negatively about yourself, check it, because it's going to amplify in 2026. If you are someone that consistently stays connected to people that are not good for you, it's going to amplify. Things are going to get real difficult in your interpersonal relationships, and so on, okay? If you think disempowering thoughts, if you judge yourself, all of that is going to get amplified, and it's going to get amplified to a place where it's going to be very, very uncomfortable, okay? Very uncomfortable, because the energies before, it never felt good to think negatively about yourself, right? Like that never feels good. It didn't feel good 10 years ago, and it doesn't feel good now. But the difference is that 10 years ago, if you thought negatively about yourself, the energy wasn't as powerful, so it didn't amplify as much. So you might have felt bad, but not as bad as you're going to feel now. With the amplification of this energy now, you're going to feel terrible, okay? That's how powerful this energy is, okay? So remember, amplification is really, really important, okay? And the good news about amplification is that you can catch yourself quickly, right? You can catch yourself quickly. You're not going to be able to do the same shenanigans that you used to last year or 10 years ago. I'm not either. Why? Because the energy is so amplified that it's going to throw you off the wave very quickly. You're going to wipe out, and you're going to be like trying to breathe and trying to get yourself to the surface of that wave, right? It's not going to feel good immediately, which means that you can't be off course that long. It's not going to be possible because it's going to be so painful. It's going to cause so much suffering that you're going to be like, oh my God, I'm out of alignment with my soul. Here I go, back in. And then once you get back into alignment, that energy amplifies, and you start to feel a lot better, okay? All right. So now let's talk about is the sound better for everybody now? I haven't been looking at the comments, but it seems like the sound is getting a little bit better. All right. So now let me get into the one habit to release in 2026. There are a couple of more of them, but there's one that is absolutely essential. I've been talking about it quite a bit in my YouTube videos in 2025, and I'm going to repeat it again because it's coming in. It's coming in hot, everybody. It is coming in hot. Here's what you have to release in 2026. Check this out. Dun, 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 dun. We must release hustle culture. Okay, what does it mean to release hustle culture. Okay, so what do I mean by hustle culture? Hustle culture is the habit that we have on this planet of just doing, nonstop doing. If I sit on the couch for 5 minutes, relaxing, my mind starts to say, oh my God, you're being lazy. You should be out there winning at life. You should be out there doing. Oh my God, it's exhausting. Everybody, has everybody noticed this? It is exhausting, all right? Hustle culture is an energy that worked in the past, but it is not working. Show of hands of who knows it's not working, who has already felt the effects of that in their lives. Hustle culture is a quick way for you to burn out and get sick, okay? And a show of hands of anyone who's already done that, my hand goes up first, right? Like I had some horrible, horrible health challenges, including a very severe burnout. Why? Because the hustle culture was templated in my body so deeply that it was hard for me to come out of it. And I had to learn a really painful lesson that I'm still healing from, all right? So this idea that you just need to do, even if that action is not coming from intuition. So it's almost like hustle culture is mindless. People who are hustlers, they think they're really smart, but they're actually not. I've come to conclude that those of us that were hustlers, myself included, I was being dumb. I was being really dumb. Why? Because hustle culture, the underpinning of hustle culture is that you do almost mindlessly. It's action that's not anchored in body wisdom, in intuition, and in inner knowing. And whenever you act in a mindless way, you're being dumb, right? Like there's no way around it. You are being dumb because you're acting from a disembodied place. You're just literally filling the hours of your day up with action, thinking that you're going to get to the end of the day and feel really successful because you've done a million things while someone else has maybe been relaxing a little bit more. And you'll look over to the other person relaxing and you're going to be like, oh my God, you were lazy. You've been procrastinating. I'm a winner at life. I'm successful. This entire hustle culture has been the underpinning of our society for a really long time. It is not working anymore. And it's going to get so much more painful from here on in if we continue doing this, if we continue to act without having a clear intuition on the direction in which we go, okay? And the reason that this is happening is because every time you act, think about it from an energy perspective. Every time you act, you're using chi or vital energy, right? And so if I act 1,000 times in a day, and especially if those actions are out of alignment with what my soul and my intuition wants, I'm just going to be using energy. I'm literally going to be wasting my vital energy. Is that not true? I'm going to be wasting my vital energy on things that are absolutely pointless, absolutely mindless, and are not going to take me anywhere. And so now hustle culture doesn't work, especially in 2026 and moving forward. It doesn't work because your body will not permit you to do the things that we used to do. Your body's going to shut down. The body intelligence has really gone online now, especially in the last couple of years, but more and more and more. BQ, body intelligence, is coming online, and our bodies are not letting us do the shenanigans we used to do. Not letting it. They're collapsing a lot easier. They're collapsing faster. And they're not collapsing because they lack resilience. They're collapsing because the body intelligence is saying, I'm not doing this. This is not in alignment. This is not in alignment. I'm not doing anything that's not in alignment with the soul. And so the body intelligence is saying, nope, I'm shutting down. And so you'll get the flu, or you'll get COVID, or you'll get whatever you'll get, or you have an injury, or something happens, or you burn out. Your body will find ways to shut down in order to prevent you from acting mindlessly, okay? And I felt that already in my life, actually more than a year ago. And if anyone's feeling that in their lives right now, drop it here. So this is the one thing you must release for 2026. It's not that you're going to lay on the couch. This is a lot of times people get really confused on what it means to come out of hustle culture. And they'll say to me, Christina, does it mean that I'm just going to be lazy and just like slouch around for the rest of my life? No, it doesn't mean that at all. But I'm not saying go from hustle culture to lying on the couch for the rest of your life. I'm not, it doesn't have to be in these two opposites. There's a middle ground. And the middle ground is I'm going to act mindfully. I'm going to use my masculine energy, which is the energy of action. I'm going to use it in a way that is in alignment with my soul and in alignment with the energy, so that when I do act, one action in these energies with the big wave carrying you, one action is going to take you further than 100 actions, mindless actions in the energy before. Does everybody get this? This is very, very important. And I would say this is absolutely crucial. Why is this crucial? Because if you continue to act mindlessly, your body will shut down in one way or another. And that doesn't usually involve anything good. Like you're going to get sick, something's going to happen, you're going to have a burnout, whatever it is. Your body's going to find a way to shut down because it's not going to want to use its vital energy for useless things. Okay? All right, cool. Now, another bonus tip here of things that we should release aside from the hustle culture, because I'm feeling this a lot right now and I'm working on this a lot with my clients inside of Heart Alchemy. I'm gonna read it to you. Release old thoughts, behaviors, patterns that you used to do before. So I'm curious if you guys are in touch with the patterns, the behaviors, the thoughts that you thought maybe even just last year and that you must release. Drop them in the comments. I want to see. I want to witness the things that you guys are aware of, okay? Old thoughts, old beliefs, old patterns that you used to do before. It's not going to work in 2026, especially if we're talking about patterns, behaviors, and thoughts that are very negative, disempowering, and hurtful towards yourself and towards others, right? Remember the amplification of energy. Everything's going to get bigger. So make sure that what you want to get bigger is something that is in service to you. So a lot of people saying alcohol, fears, emotional eating, negative self-talk. There's a lot of you are saying that alcohol. A lot of people are saying alcohol. Thanks for bringing that up. That's a very, very important intuition for everyone because the energies are so big. Energies that are big affect the nervous system. And more as we progress in our awakening, I'm sure all of you, if you've been in lives with me before, spiritual awakenings are changing. The way that we used to do self-growth and self-healing is changing a lot. And one thing that's being really, really hammered right now is the nervous system. Because the energies are getting so big, so amplified, and we're getting more and more sensitive because that's what happens when you spiritually awaken and you go in your healing path. You get more sensitive, and that's exactly how you're supposed to live. But temporarily, what ends up happening is your nervous system gets very sensitized. And as it is sensitized, it's very, very sensitive to any kind of stimulant or any kind of substance. All right. So a lot of people are dropping alcohol and substances here. Yes, yes, yes. If there is a time to give up that stuff, it is most certainly in 2026, because again, the energy of alcohol is already not good for you, but it's going to amplify the not goodness in 2026. All right. So if you use any substance that affects the nervous system, I think it's a great New Year's resolution to kind of cut down on that for sure. So you don't dysregulate your nervous system more than our nervous systems already are. Okay. Now, I have an exercise for you. So write this down in your journal or something if you have it with you. Okay. So here's a journal prompt for you. What behavior or pattern have I repeated over and over and over again in the last years? If you want to start answering your prompt here, let me know. I'm going to say it again. What behavior or pattern have I repeated over and over and over again in the last years? Why am I asking you to write it down, and why am I giving you this journal prompt? Because whatever the hell you write down that you've been repeating over and over and over and over again in the last years that have been hurting you, it's going to hurt you even more in 2026 if you keep doing it. Okay, so I'll give you examples because I wrote down examples from my clients and the things that I'm working with them in Heart Alchemy. So I've had clients who separate or divorce, or they separate from their husband or their wives and then they get back together. And then they separate and then they get back together. And then they separate and then they get back together about 10 times until they finally realize, oh, maybe I should stop doing this because this relationship is no longer serving me. I need to let go of it. Okay. So that's a hard one for people. Another one, thinking the same negative, disempowering way, the same way, just thinking old thoughts, old negative stories, old, just keep repeating. Got to let go of that. Or they repeat the same pattern. I wrote down, for example, trying to fix other people and just saying, oh, they have potential if I just stick around and help them. That's an old pattern you got to let go. Got to let go of it. So whatever it is that you've done over, you know what it is. Everybody knows because you're writing it down. Everybody knows what it is. You know what it is. You know those things that you just keep doing over and over and over again that you know don't serve you, you know hurt you, and you keep doing it again. And then your ego gives little excuses. Oh, but I'm going to get back together with this person because they're changed, or I'm going to whatever. It doesn't matter. The ego just comes up with all this bullshit. You gotta let it go. You gotta let go of these patterns for the love of God in 2026, because otherwise, I love you guys. I don't want to see anybody suffering. But the amplification that I'm seeing of the energy in 2026, you will suffer if you don't let go of these things. Okay, so a lot of people are saying, I know. Well, yeah, I know you know, but I'm saying this because I love you and I don't want to see anyone in our community suffering endlessly, just because you want to stubbornly hold on to something that's hurting you. So a lot of people are saying judging, old thoughts and old habits, negative self-talk, narcissistic relationships. A lot of people are saying narcissistic relationships, self-sabotage, resentment, putting my creations on pause. That was a good one. Okay, so the lists are endless. Do this journaling exercise after this live. Do this journaling exercise. What behavior patterns do I keep doing over and over and over again that I am ready to see, that I am ready to say, this is enough, and that I'm ready to go into 2026 with a totally new energy. And even if, like, I'll have clients say to me, oh my God, it's really scary of letting go of something that I've done for years. It's really scary, right? Show of hands if it's scary. I recognize that. It is scary to let go of something that you have been doing over and over and over again for God knows how long. It's scary because you don't know what's going to replace it. But at least what you can say is, this thing that I keep doing is hurting me, and I will no longer hurt myself. I don't know what to do in lieu of that. I don't know what to do to replace that, but I have a willingness to learn something new. Isn't that an amazing energy when you say to yourself, I have no idea how to do new, but I do know that this that I'm doing is not serving me. It's really hurting me. And I have the courage to say, I will not do this anymore. And then after that, I say, Spirit, I am open to learning a new way. Please show me. That's the energy. That is the energy, guys. That's the energy. Okay, now let's get into the 3 skills for 2026. 3 skills, all right? One and most important. The first one and most important. Staying regulated. Let me get my fingers out from underneath. Staying regulated, meaning grounded. Okay, this is skill number 1. As I was talking to you guys a little while ago, that's one of the biggest energy shifts that I'm seeing with spiritual awakenings and with my clients. People reach me and they're in such a state of dysregulation. And I've talked to thousands of people in 2025. People DM me, they email me, and the story is pretty much the same. And maybe some of you guys here on this live have emailed me and messaged me on Instagram, and the story is the same. Like, people feel stuck. They feel almost numb. They feel almost dead inside. There is something inside of them that's not allowing them to move forward, to be like, wow, I'm filled with vitality. I'm ready to go forward. There's something. And that something is usually the nervous system that is dysregulated. When your nervous system is dysregulated, it almost pauses your spiritual awakening and it pauses your growth, because when your nervous system is dysregulated, it puts you in states of fight, flight, or freeze. And when you are in fight, flight, or freeze, it's really hard for you to grow because you're in what's known as a sympathetic dominant state. And the sympathetic nervous system, that's your nervous system of survival. It's not the nervous system of learning, growing, healing. That's the parasympathetic nervous system. And so people have been reaching me more and more dysregulated. And let me know here in the comments if this is happening to you. Did you feel like in 2025 your nervous system dysregulated more quickly, or you felt disconnected, numb to life, stuck, stagnant? Some people are saying stagnant, no flow. And I want to hear more. I want to hear more about like so that's a lot of people are saying that's me. Stuck. Some people are saying stuck in a revolving door. I love that. Okay. It's the nervous system. The nervous system is dysregulating, and you could see why, right? We're going through our own spiritual growth at the same time that the planet is shifting in energy and shifting in consciously more and more and more. The energies are getting increasingly intensified. So now my poor nervous system has to deal with my own inner awakening and with the amplification of the energy outside. That's a lot, especially for those of us. Some people are saying here in the comments that they have CPTSD or PTSD. When you have a lot of trauma in your body from your childhood that you haven't healed, the nervous system can even get more dysregulated as we're going through these enormous energy shifts on the planet. Okay, so that's the first skill. So you need to regulate. And regulate can be, for some people, it's harder and you need some extra tools. But a good start is just pause, close your eyes, and breathe, focusing on the exhale. Whenever you focus on a longer exhale, you're already priming the body to calm down, okay? So the more that you're regulated, the more that you can move forward, the more that you could ride the wave of 2026. 2026 is an amazing year for true and real profound transformation, precisely because the energy is moving so quickly and it's so big. But you got to be regulated so you can ride that wave with calm and groundedness, okay? All right, skill number 2, check this out. Skill number 2 is called inspired action, okay? It's a little bit of what we were talking about earlier when we were saying that you had to let go of hustle culture. Inspired action is so important right now. And another word for this, I would say, is discernment. More and more spiritual people are being asked to grow up and become more discerning. So I'm going to be discerning of what I do. I'm going to be discerning of how I use my vital energy. I'm going to say, okay, do I go over here? Is this the appropriate use of my vital energy, or is this just mindless action? Is this just my masculine energy and hustle culture template? Discernment. Being inspired in your action. And what does that mean? That means that whenever you're thinking of doing something in your life, you just pause and you tap into your intuition, your feminine energy, and we all have it. Tap into your heart and you feel into your body and you say, is this the appropriate course of action? Am I going down the right path? And you stay still, you receive synchronicities, you're open to the synchronicities, you're open to the signs from spirit, and you act when that inspiration arrives, when that intuition arrives. Intuition guides your action. Intuition is the precursor to action. So you're not shooting in all directions and then end up being burnt out, okay? So if you don't want to use the word inspired action, use the word discernment. In 2026, I will be more discerning of where my vital energy is being used, all right? Okay. And skill number 3 is flow mindset, okay? Flow mindset. This is literally how the big wave surfers surf, okay? This is how they surf. This is how professional athletes get in what's known as the zone, okay? You're going to be in a flow mindset. Flow mindset means that it's just really another way of saying that I'm going to be connected to spirit. Another way of saying this is I'm going to be more connected with my body intelligence. Okay. I'm going to connect more with my body intelligence. The more that I'm connected with my body, the more connected I am with spirit. And I'm going to flow in that direction. Now, here's the ding ding, of course, which is why the first skill is the most important. The more regulated I am in my nervous system, the easier it is for me to be in flow states, because I can't be in a flow state if I'm in a sympathetic fight or flight and my nervous system is freaking out, right? Flow states are I'm calm, I'm concentrated, my mind is still, my body is calm, and I'm in this flow, okay? So I wrote down a mnemonic so that you guys could remember, and it's called WAVE, all right? So if this is going to be easy for you to remember after this call, okay? So it's called WAVE, all right? So W, wild, powerful momentum. A, alignment is everything. V, velocity when you surrender. And E, embodiment keeps you afloat. WAVE. Okay, so this will be easy for you to remember. So WAVE, the W, the energy is wild and there's a lot of powerful momentum. The energy is big and fast moving and it's amplifying, right? Alignment means everything. Like the surfer chooses how they position themselves on the wave and then they ride it. The more aligned you are with your soul, the more discerning you are, the easier it is for you to ride that wave, which means that the wave will take you further than you can ever go by yourself. Okay, so remember this wave mnemonic. V, velocity when you surrender. So what do you think happens to a big wave surfer if they get to the crest of the wave and then they're like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go in this direction. I want to go in that direction. They start trying to paddle backwards. What do you think's going to happen to the surfer? They are going to wipe out for sure. So the key here is you're going to go far, but you're going to go far when you surrender to the wave. You're going to go far when you're relaxed and you're like, all right, here I go. And then you're literally surfing down a 10-story building. Okay. So you're going to move so much faster than you ever can by yourself when you surrender to the velocity of this energy and you're in alignment with it. Okay. And E, embodiment keeps you afloat, meaning that the more you're regulated in your nervous system, the more you are connected to your body intelligence, the more you are in your body, the more you heal the trauma that has been dissociating you, the more that you connect with your emotions, the more that you turn every single stone of your inner world, connect with your emotions, connect with your trauma, connect with all of the things that have been holding you back. The more in your body you are, the more you will stay afloat on that wave. All right, I'm going to show you again because people are asking for the mnemonic again. Here it is. WAVE, wild, powerful momentum. Alignment is everything. V, velocity when you surrender. E, embodiment keeps you afloat. Okay, the wave. All right, this will help you guys. You guys really get into the energy, okay? All right, everybody got it? Do you want me to hold it up again? I'll hold it up one more time. Okay, here it is. Here's your mnemonic. WAVE, W, wild, powerful momentum. Alignment is everything. V, velocity when you surrender. E, embodiment keeps you afloat. All right, cool. Okay, woo. All right. What'd you guys think? Yeah, so that's basically how 2026 is going to pan out. It's incredible. Oh yeah, some people are saying in the comments, yes, after the live, you can always come back to this video and you can screenshot. You can screenshot the parts of the video where I was holding up the props. Thank you so much, whoever said it was Lindley Freya. Thank you so much for offering that feedback. So that's the energy for 2026. It's very powerful. It's very fast moving. You know, I love you guys so much and I don't want to see anyone suffer. So please, 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 if you have to watch this live 10 times, please do not keep doing old things that you used to do because it's going to cause so much suffering. All right. It will. I love you guys. Don't do it. I don't want to see you suffering. Step into 2026 with the willingness to do something new, to do life new, to do something different, right? Right? Everybody, come on. I love you guys. Okay, so now for those of you, I'm going to talk a little bit for a few minutes here on the New Year's challenge that I'm doing inside of Heart Alchemy. I've never done this before. I want to talk about this for a few minutes. If you don't want to join me in Heart Alchemy for the challenge it starts this Monday, January 5th. It's going to be incredible. If you're not interested in any of that, then now is the time for you to get up and go do a pee-pee break and grab yourself some water and get ready for the activation, because the activation is coming right after, all right? For those of you that are interested in the challenge, I want to talk about it a little bit here. So I've never done a challenge inside of Heart Alchemy. So Heart Alchemy is my private coaching program. It's year round. It's where I do my most in-depth work with clients and where I see the biggest transformations in my clients is inside of Heart Alchemy. We've never done a challenge before. And this year, I thought of doing a challenge precisely because I was already receiving this metaphor and I was already receiving this enormous shift in energy that was happening. It's very big. It's an enormous shift. It's not a tiny shift. It's big. And the energies of 2026 are going to require us to do life differently, completely differently. And for a lot of us, we need help doing life completely differently because guess what? Old patterns, old thoughts, trauma in your body. There's all these different things that are happening that sometimes are not easy for us to do alone. And that's why a private community is so, so powerful in helping us kind of get to places where we can't on our own. So if you resonated with everything that I'm talking about here, then you're going to love our challenge inside of Heart Alchemy. It is called the Transformation Accelerator. It's happening the whole month of January, and it's going to be something simple but really powerful. It starts on Monday, January 5th. Inside of Heart Alchemy, you have to be a member of Heart Alchemy to do the challenge with us. When you join as a member, we start the challenge. I'm going to be doing the challenge, and I'm really excited about it. And this challenge is simple but profound. Every week we have a theme, right? And there are 4 themes, 4 weeks. Reset, stabilize, accelerate, and rebirth. So every week we have a different theme and we have a different practice that goes. We're going to practice that same practice every day for a week and then it transitions. And we're going to do this together as a group. So we all have accountability. So we're all together so we can all support each other. I'm going to be there and I'm going to do the challenge also. So week by week, we shift our practice. And what these practices are designed to do is they are designed to help you regulate your nervous system, come down into a place of calmness, groundedness, so that you are open for all of the transformations that come after. So the practices ground you, then they help stabilize your energy, then they start to accelerate your energy, and then they open you up. And when you finish this challenge, you're going to be a completely different person. You're going to be more grounded in your energy. You're going to be more clear on what steps to take next. You're not going to be frozen in your body anymore. You're going to be ready to face 2026, to ride that big wave. And then inside of Heart Alchemy, after the challenge finishes, it finishes in the end of January. And it finishes with a live masterclass on the numerology of number 1. I'm going to do a deep dive in the numerology well beyond what I talked about here. And after the challenge ends in January, you'll continue in Heart Alchemy throughout the year. You can stay as long as you want. And that transformation with live coaching calls with me. We have an incredible, incredible coaching team. We have incredible members. Everybody that's in Heart Alchemy, they're there. They feel understood. They feel seen because it's all like-souled and like-hearted people who are doing the work and actually wanting to change their lives, not just talk about change. They're tired of talking about change. They got into Heart Alchemy because they're ready to actually do the change, to actually go deeper. And they needed support and they needed help, and that's why they joined Heart Alchemy. So it's an incredible community. When I was preparing for this live today, I actually went back and I looked at some testimonial videos that some of our clients just submitted recently. And I get so excited just hearing how people experience Heart Alchemy. I want to tell you about some of them. So my client, Irene, I'm going to read what she said. She said, "Why do I love Heart Alchemy? Because here I feel safe. I feel heard and understood. And I feel surrounded by authentic people like me who are going through a transition, letting an old identity die so a new one can be born. so that they could step into their true mission. Heart Alchemy helped me find myself again. It helped me truly know who I am, discover my mission, and become the best version of myself. That was Irina. Jeremy found me on YouTube and then joined Heart Alchemy after discovering that he was having a spiritual awakening and not a midlife crisis, because he thought he was having a midlife crisis. So he said, I've been able to look at and heal so much in my life, way more than I thought possible. The lessons, the coaching, and the community itself have been a valuable source of encouragement for me. So if you're looking for a place to finally break patterns, heal deep wounds, and become free, join Heart Alchemy. Then Julia. My client Julia said, before joining Heart Alchemy in 2024, I was a wreck. I was in this dark place, and it was so uncomfortable that I couldn't even feel the light, and things were very confusing. I didn't have the tools at the time to get out of it. And then when I found Heart Alchemy, I got out of the dark night and the light started streaming again. And lastly, Shirley. She said, getting rid of my addiction was the biggest impact I had after joining Heart Alchemy. And right now, after going through all the cleansing in my mind and my body, I'm finally ready to be a parent. These are only some of the testimonials that I have for Heart Alchemy. It's an incredible program. It's very, very transformational. If you are feeling called to join me in this challenge, to join Heart Alchemy, to really take advantage of this big wave energy for 2026 and completely change your life, not just your outer life, but your inner life. If you're tired of just chugging along without any tools or with confused on what to do next, join Heart Alchemy, join my challenge. To join the challenge, you can click on the link right here you'll see in the, and there's a pinned comment here in the live chat. The link is right here in the pinned comment, or you can click on the link right below this video in the description box of the video. The links are there, all right? And I hope to see you Monday, January 5th inside of Heart Alchemy. Let's do this challenge together. I'm really excited, and I'm excited to see you there possibly. Okay. Yay! Yeah, I'm really excited about doing a challenge. I've never done that before, so I'm super, super excited. I hope to see you guys there. Okay, so let's get into our activation. Okay, so people are asking where the link is. If you're on this live right now, look at the top of the live chat. You'll see there's a pinned comment that has the link to join the challenge, all right? You're basically joining Heart Alchemy because you need to be a member of Heart Alchemy to join our challenge. If you don't see the link in the chat box where everybody's chatting, you can see the link right below this video in the description box of the video, all right? Cool. Okay, let's get into the activation. Woohoo! All right, so let me drink some water. And hopefully you guys, you have some water with you. All right. You know how our activations are really powerful. If you've never done an activation with me before, they're very, very powerful. When I finish doing this activation today, I'd like you guys to, if you feel called after the live is finished, you can drop a message in Instagram, DM me, and just let me know how the activation went, how you felt, if you enjoyed this live. I want to hear all about it. All right. So DM me. On Instagram, my handle is The Heart Alchemist. Okay. So here's how we're going to do this activation. It's a little bit different because I want to show you something visually. All right. And for those of you that have never been in a live with me, have water available. When you finish this activation, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to get up from the activation and you're going to drink a lot of water. All right. At least a big glass of water. And maybe have a journal, and maybe you'll need to journal some stuff. Okay. So a lot of people are saying drink water because it's probably my returning people that have done lives with me are already saying in the chat, drink water. Yes, it's absolutely essential. You move a lot of energy during these activations, and water helps circulate that energy. Okay. And so what's going to happen here, and I don't usually do this. I usually do this inside of my coaching calls, but I'm going to do it here also, is I'm going to actually disconnect the live after I finish the activation. Why? So that you guys don't come on the chat again and start talking, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the portal, the energy portal, open so that you could stay connected to it even after I disconnect the live. So what's going to happen is you're going to hear me guide you and guide you and guide you. And then I'm going to say something like, and so it is, or namaste. I'm going to say something to end the meditation, and then I'm going to disconnect the live, and you're just going to stop hearing me. When you stop hearing me, don't get up right away. Stay in the meditation for as long as you feel called. Do not get up just because you finished hearing my voice, okay? Everybody got this? All right? Those of you that are in Heart Alchemy know exactly what I'm saying. I do this at every single coaching call. Do not get up just because you stop hearing my voice. I want you to stay in the portal and stay in the energy for as long. Some people meditate for 20 minutes. Some people meditate for an hour. It depends, okay? So allow your guides and your own portal energy to stay open for as long as it needs to, okay? All right. So today we're doing an activation that's different. So I got this inspiration from the spiritual teacher Wayne Dyer. Okay, does anybody remember the late Wayne Dyer, the amazing spiritual teacher? He had a meditation. Let me get the name so that in case you guys want to look it up. It was called Getting in the Gap. Okay, so Wayne Dyer had a meditation called Getting in the Gap, and it was one of the most powerful meditations that I did during my spiritual awakening. And what he was doing is he used a phrase from a Christian prayer. I didn't want the meditation to be religious. And so what I'm going to do is we're going to use a different phrase, okay? And we're just going to use 2 words, non-religious, and I want you to see those words now before I go into the guiding, okay? So this is the mantra, I am, okay? I am. All right? Now, what we're going to focus on these 2 words as I am guiding you. And then we're going to do something that's called getting in the gap. And you'll understand what it is in a little bit. Okay. So I love you guys. If you can, don't chat while we're doing the live activation. So say goodbye to everybody now. So you're not chatting during the live activation. Put your phones down or put your computers down and start connecting with the energy, with my voice, closing your eyes and getting ready for this activation, okay? All right, so take a nice deep breath, okay? Nice deep breath, all right? And close your eyes, and what you're initially going to do is you're going to scan your body and ask your body what position it wants to be in for this activation. And then you're going to get into that position, right? For some people, it could be standing. For other people, it could be lying down. For other people, it could be sitting. Just make sure that you're not making that decision with your mind. You're making the decision with your body intelligence. Take a deep breath. Tap into your body, and you could gently ask the question, what position should I be in for this activation? And then slowly get yourself into that position. Keep your eyes closed, your body relaxed. Oh, nice deep breaths, nice deep breaths. I'm opening a light portal above your head. Every single person that is on this live today, I open a light portal above your head wherever it is that you are doing this activation from now. For some of you, the light portal that's opening up above your head, it could look like a wormhole, it could look like a door. It doesn't matter what it looks like. For people that can't visualize, don't worry. Just listen to my voice and allow the energy to move through you. There you go. And allow, and allow, and allow. I open the light portal as far as it needs to go, as big as it needs to go. And I program this light portal to come through with extremely powerful energies. The portal is encoded with the energies of 2026 with the big wave energy. And I request that that energy come pouring through the light portal above your head and enter your crown chakra and shower your entire body from head to toe now. Take a nice deep breath. Nice deep breath. If you feel your body being rigid, please use the free will of your human self to allow these beautiful portal energies to come through you. You can say it out loud or in your mind. I allow these beautiful energies to come into my body. I request that the energy coming through the portal increase in its potency 10 times now. Take a nice deep breath. Allow your body to relax and open up so that it can easily accommodate the energy that's streaming through this portal now. Easy does it. If you can visualize, I want you to visualize right ahead of you your body floating in outer space, like you're meditating in outer space surrounded by planets. Everything is dark around you, the stars are around you, but there's this beautiful darkness that's not fearful. It's loving. It's the darkness of space, the space that holds everything. Galaxies, universes, stars, planets. You're floating in outer space as you meditate. And suddenly in front of you, you're going to see the mantra, the words, I am. These words are going to flash in front of you in the middle of space. For some people, they even look like neon signs. They're lit up like lights. I am. See this mantra in front of you. If you can't see anything, don't worry, just feel it. I am. Look at each letter. I, then there's a space, then am. Take a nice deep breath and say in your mind or out loud, I. Take a nice deep breath. Say in your mind or out loud, am. And what you will notice is that there is a space between the word I and the word am. There is a space. There is a gap. Bring I to your mind. Bring am to your mind. And then backtrack a little bit and fall into the gap between the two words now. Take a deep breath. Fall deeper into the gap now. Fall deeper into the gap now. Take a deep breath. Fall deeper into the gap now. I program the light portal above your head to bring in gap energy into your body now. This is 0 point energy. This is the energy of nothingness, the energy of pure potential, the energy of silence and stillness, the energy of everything that existed right before the Big Bang. There was a stillness and a silence. I bring that energy into your body. I encode your nervous system with it. I encode your nervous system with this 0 point energy. I encode your nervous system to be calm, grounded, filled with potential, still. I program this portal to bring in these 0 point energies tenfold now. Your body can remain calm. Your body can remain regulated. Your body can remain grounded no matter what life throws at you. I encode these codes in your nervous system and body now. Each second that this 0 point energy pours out of the portal above your head and into your body will feel more and more relaxed, more and more flexible. If you can and you have the ability to do so, the guides are requesting that you get down on the floor or on a surface where you can lie down. Do it slowly with your eyes closed, if you can. And put yourself in a fetal position so you're lying on your side and you're curled up a little bit, almost like a baby in their mom's womb. If you can't lie down or you're in a place where you can't lie down right now, that maybe just fold yourself forward so you're almost like in a cocoon, completely relaxed. Completely relaxed. Nervous system is calm. Body is being encoded with 0 point energy. Body is learning to stay calm and grounded no matter what. I also encode your nervous system. I request that the energies coming out of the portal now are also energies that at the same time that encode calmness in your nervous system, also prepare your energy system, upgrade your mind so that you continue 2026 with an energy of newness, being open to new opportunities, being open to living life in a new way, being open to growth and evolution in a sustainable, lasting way. The guides are requesting your permission to encode you with this energy because this energy requires a certain level of commitment. And so if you really want to change, if you want to make 2026 something different, if you are ready to grow and to heal beyond what you've been able to do up until now, give permission for this energy to penetrate your entire body and your aura, and commit to following through with this energy. And you can commit out loud or in your mind. You can just say, yes, I will, I commit, I allow. I request that this portal energy also encode your body with alignment with your soul, with discernment, so that no matter what you do moving forward, it's going to be in alignment with your soul, in alignment with the higher will of your soul. I request that your egos, that your small selves, that your wounded selves, I request that they be absorbed into the newness, into the bigness of who you are as a soul. You are a lot bigger than you think you are. Allow yourself to grow into that bigness. I bring this portal energy into your body. I encode your body with the following information. I am powerful. I am aligned with my soul. I am discerning. I am calm. I am grounded. I am. Stay in this activation for as long as you feel that portal open above your head. You will feel when the portal closes, but don't get up until that portal closes. Stay here for as long as you feel called. And so it is, and so it will always be.